Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at the top 100 greatest ever FPL managers, including their team selections, player ownership, transfer plans and more. As usual, we connected with one of the managers for an interview, and this week's manager has 9 top 10k finishes. He's answered some questions including the tips behind his success and more. If you want to keep up with what the greatest ever FPL managers are doing this season, don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the video. With the many millions of FPL managers, just barely 100 meet the criteria to join our list. The criteria to join this list is a minimum of 4 top 1k finishes or a minimum of 7 top 10k finishes. They are undisputably the greatest managers to have ever played the game, with a record to prove it. Their decision making, planning and understanding of the game is exceptional. We call them the Elite 100. That said, there's actually slightly more than 100, but to keep it simple, we'll mostly use percentages when going through their teams and moves. Let's start off with the Elite 100's team selections. By aggregating all of their teams together, we can arrive at a consensus team, which is a full squad of 15 players that they agree on having the most. One reasonable conclusion you could draw is that the higher percentage a player has, the more you should consider owning them. The Elite 100 template team is as follows. For the first time this season, we line up with a 5 at the back and a 5-3-2. 5 changes to the team too, as Sanchez drops out of the team following his suspension, and Foster comes in with 20% ownership. Foster looks like the perfect backup keeper currently, still only 4.1 and getting 16 points in his last 2 games. One change in defence as Rudiger drops out, who was on the score sheet against Leicester, and Livramento takes his place. The 5 at the back formation just goes to demonstrate the value that the defenders have in FPL this season. The likes of Chilwell, James, Trent getting both a clean sheet and attacking return in Gameweek 12. In midfield, Mbeumo and Smith Rowe drop out, and replacing them is Son and Gallagher. Gallagher got his 9th return of the season in Gameweek 12 and is the 3rd top scorer midfielder after Salah and Mane, who are both around double his price, which illustrates his value too. We've widely discussed Tottenham's upcoming fixtures, and it's no surprise to see Son and Kane join the template team. Up top it was Vardy that made way for Kane. Heading into Gameweek 12, here's a brief look at their transfer activity. Exactly a quarter of the Elite 100 rolled their free transfers, and 56% made use of the free transfers. 14% took a -4 and 5% took a -8. Before we take a look at their transfers, we caught up with Phil Ampleford from the Elite 100. He has a phenomenal 9 top 10k finishes, which includes 2 top 1k finishes. In his 12 years playing, he's never finished outside the top 100k. Here's what he had to say. The first question was, what are some tips you can share behind your consistent finishes? He said, identify your natural playing style. Some managers like taking hits or going for differentials. Some play a very patient game or picking template players. Finding your natural style of playing the game and sticking to it. There are so many ways of playing the game, but playing in a style that suits you will mean that you're in your comfort zone and will tend to make better decisions. There are so many ways of getting information and opinions in FPL. I think I've learned to filter out the good from the bad to an extent. Seeking opinions from trusted managers that have similar playing style to me works for me. I've always tried to stick to a cheap bench to maximise my funds in my starting 11. I'm even comfortable with a non-playing keeper and one player on my bench that doesn't start. I'm very much a fixtures manager. I'll try to plan my moves based on the next 4 to 6 weeks' fixtures, looking at who could be the form players from those teams and who is the talisman of that team. In previous seasons, I looked at spending less money in defence by having one premium defender, a mid-price defender, and then some rotations with 2 or 3 cheap defenders. So you always have a strong looking defence in a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 formation. However, the recent rise of attacking fullbacks has stopped me from doing this. At the start of the season, I tend to take more hits and risk early transfers in a bid to increase my team value. My mantra is that as the season progresses, players are more likely to get rested, injured, rotated due to fatigue and fixture congestion, making the early transfers more risky. I generally pick solid captain choices and look at the other 10 players to make the difference. I tend to find my picks mirror the polls without looking first. I've been known to go a big rogue when there's no standout option, having a few successes in the past with defenders, even a defender playing in the early Saturday kickoff. I do not let ownership levels have any influence on my transfers or starting 11. The only time I may use effective ownership is in the event of a 50-50 captain decision. Don't be scared of selling players that you might hold value in. If you believe there's a better option, not selling can hold you back. You only gain that value in the player when you sell him. Avoid rules that may limit your options and don't hold grudges against certain players. I'm a gooner and won't think twice about getting a Spurs player in. I try to take any emotion out of my decisions, even if a player has trolled me in the past. The next question was, who do you think will win the Premier League this season? He said, I think it's impossible to tell who will win the Premier League between City, Liverpool and Chelsea. Liverpool seem to have the best attack, but losing Salah and Mane to the African Cup of Nations and having a smaller squad could make the difference. Chelsea looks so strong and could only get better when Lukaku returns and they rely less on their defenders for goals. Perhaps City just edge it due to their experience in winning the league with these players. And the final question was, what's your best FPL memory? In the 2012-13 season, Stefan Sessegnon was a popular pick in the double game week for Sunderland. He had been on a good goal scoring run and had two nice fixtures. He blanked the first game and was just about to blank the second when he latched onto a long ball from the defence to score in injury time. The long ball assist was from Carlos Cuellar, who was also in my team. In the 2009-10 season, Wayne Rooney had a double game week. I captained him and he got a goal and an assist in the first game and 3 goals and an assist in the second for 32 points. Thanks again to Phil for taking the time to come on this week's episode. A link to his socials are in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for future episodes. A quick look at the chip usage among the Elite 100 next. 91% had already used their wildcard, and this week a further 2% activated theirs, which means only 7% have the chip left, which could come as a huge advantage over the winter period when there's an extremely condensed schedule and inevitable surprises that will be thrown at us. Elsewhere, no bench boost this week after we saw a surprise bench boost last game week. The triple captainship remains unused and only a single free hit has been used this season. Onto the Elite 100's transfers. By far the most popular move was Vardy for Kane, which was a move made by 28 of the Elite 100. Between Game Week 5 and Game Week 8, Vardy scored 5 goals in 4 games, but in the 4 games since then he's failed to score or assist. 9 managers opted for Callum Wilson as their Vardy replacement, who came close to getting on the score sheet himself, and the fixtures remain good for Newcastle. Havertz also appears on the most transferred out table 3 times, with his replacements being Son, Gallagher and Jota. Jota is 4th for expected goal involvement among all midfielders, which is especially impressive considering his limited minutes. He also has an expected goal involvement every 130 minutes, which is better than the likes of Son, Foden and Rafinha. With this in mind, he looks a great pickup while Firmino's out. 5 managers opted for Guaita as their Sanchez replacement. He also looks like a great value player, priced only 4.6 currently, and Palace are 3rd best in the league for expected goals conceded this season. Palace's upcoming fixtures look great, so Gallagher also fully justifies our consideration. We'll finish by looking at how the Elite 100 managers are ranking currently. Their ranks are categorised into 5 areas: top 10k, top 100k, top 500k, top 1 mil and outside top 1 mil. The breakdown is as follows. A strong game week for the Elite 100 as we now have 4.2% in the top 10k, up from 2.9% last game week. Likewise, an increase to 25.6% in the top 100k and 78% in the top 500k. Last game week 11% were ranked outside the top 1 mil, which has dropped to 7.7%. Those managers who got off to a slow start appear to be gaining some momentum. That concludes this video on the Elite 100. We'll be following them closely throughout the season, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Thank you again to Phil for taking the time to answer the questions. And likewise, thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like the video and hit subscribe to support the channel. I read every comment, so let me know if you liked the video and what you thought of the Elite 100's team.